Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jessica, for those of you who don't know me. So one of my absolute favorite things to work on in yoga practice are back bends. So I figured I would just put together this little sequence of some really awesome shoulder openers and chest openers that will really help you get into working on back bends. So we'll go ahead and get started. This isn't a full yoga class, so if you need to warm up, pause the video, and just do some sun salutations before we get into it, feel free to do that. So we're going to go ahead and get started on our hands and knees in a tabletop position. So making sure the wrists are stacked below the shoulders and the knees are stacked below the hips. So we'll just find our cats and cows here. So on an inhale, drop the belly, lift your chest, gaze is up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, tuck your chin into your chest. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale. And exhale. So really moving with your breath. Maybe finding any other movement that feels good. Maybe rocking the hips from side to side. And then from here, we're just going to walk the hands out in front and come onto the forearms, dropping the forehead to the mat. So coming into our puppy pose, make sure your knees are still directly underneath the hips. And you really push into the palms here to open up both of the shoulders. I'll take one more breath. And so from here, we're just going to twist the right arm underneath the left arm, so coming into a thread the needle. So left arm is still extended out in front. You can come on top of the fingertips if you'd like a deeper stretch. You could even walk the fingertips towards the right corner of the mat, or you could even find a bind here. So find whatever feels good. One more breath. And then bring that right arm back up. And we're just going to switch sides. So bringing that left arm underneath the right arm. And then finding whatever variation you found on the other side. So maybe walking the fingertips towards the left corner, finding a bind, you choose. One more breath. And then slowly come back to the center. Walk the fingertips back, coming into our tabletop pose. So from here, we're going to tuck the toes, shift our hips back, so coming through child's pose. And then lift the knees up, send the hips down and back, so coming into our downward facing dog. So if it's your first down dog of the day, just walk it out. Pedal out through the feet, maybe bend the knees. And then finding some stillness. From here, we're going to inhale high on the toes and shift into plank. So right away, we're going to start with warming up the core, since engaging the abdominal muscles in our back bends is super important to protect the low back. So from here, bring the right knee to the right elbow. And then extend it back. Bring the left knee to the left elbow. And extend it back. We're going to find a twist here. So bring the right knee to the left elbow and hold. Then extend it back. Same thing on the left. So bring the left knee to the right elbow. Hold. And then extend it back. Good. So we're going to drop the knees here. And then from here, we're going to bring our chest and our chin to the ground. So keeping the elbows tucked into the body. And then inhale for your baby cobra. Good. Exhale, lower, bringing your forehead to the mat. From here, we're going to find another baby cobra. So inhale, tucking the elbows into the chest, lift up. Exhale, lower back down. Find that one more time. Inhale, peel the chest away from the ground. Open your heart. Exhale, lower your forehead back down to the ground. This time we're going to bring our hands on the outside of the mat. So directly beside you. Allow the elbows to point directly up towards the sky. You could even come on top of the fingertips here if that feels better. Bring your forehead back to the mat. And on an inhale, you're just going to gently peel your head and your chest up off of the ground. Allow your head and neck to be the last thing to come up. And then exhale, lower back down. We'll find this movement again. This time lifting up halfway, pause here, look over to the right, and allow the left shoulder to come down towards the mat. You should feel this in the front of your shoulder in the deltoids. And then just switch sides. So gaze over the left shoulder, bring your right shoulder over the mat. You can come onto your palms if it's too much on your fingertips. And just switch, moving with your breath a few times. Good. So coming back to center, bring your forehead back down to the ground. Bring the hands directly underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, push back through child's pose. And then lift the knees, send the hips down and back, downward facing dog. Nice. So from here, right leg lifts into three-legged down dog. And then send the right foot forward, coming in between the hands. Drop the back knee, coming into a low lunge. So find a solid foundation here. Make sure that your knee's directly underneath the right ankle. So once you've found your stability, inhale. Reach the arms up towards the sky. So tuck the low belly in to engage the core. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. And then bring the palms to touch overhead. Interlace the fingers, but release the forefinger and the thumb. So we're coming into Kali Mudra. Inhale, really lengthen up through the crown of the head. And on your next exhale, see if you can open your heart up towards the sky. Keeping that back leg nice and engaged. One more breath. And then open your arms up into cactus arms. Really drawing the fingers down and back. Good. Now release your hands to the mat, framing that front foot. Step the right foot back to meet the left foot, coming into a plank pose. So take a few rocks on the toes here, forwards and back. So from here, drop the knees, lower onto the chin and chest. Push up into cobra. And then exhale, lower all the way back down. So from here, we're going to extend the left arm straight out in front. Bend the right knee. And just depending on how open your shoulders are feeling right now, you can reach for that back foot from the outer edge of the foot. If you feel a little more open, you can come from the inside of the foot. So gaze is forward, shoulders are forward. And we're just going to inhale, lift the right thigh off of the mat. So coming into a half bow pose. So really kicking that foot into the hand. Coming back to the breath. One more inhale and exhale. And then slowly lower that foot back down. Coming back to center, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, push back up through child's pose. Lift the knees, send the hips up high, downward facing dog. So from here, left leg lifts for 3 points, and then step it forward at the top of the mat, dropping that back leg, coming into another low lunge, this time on the left side. So again, making sure that knee is directly above the ankle. Finding your stability, and then on an inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. See if you can draw your navel in towards the spine, engage the core. Relax the shoulders. And then palms come to touch, interlace the fingers except for the forefinger and thumb. Reach up through the crown of the head. Take an inhale on you. As you exhale, see if you can open your heart up towards the chest, towards the sky. One last breath, and then coming into cactus arms. So elbows are at a 90-degree angle. One last breath. And then exhale. Hands come to the mat, framing that left foot. Lift that back knee. Step the left foot back to meet the right, coming into a plank pose. So again, kind of rocking back and forth here. And then lowering the knees, lowering the chin, and lowering the chest. Inhale for your cobra. And exhale, lower all the way back down. This time, reaching the right hand forward, bending the left knee, and then finding whatever variation you found on the other side. So whether that's from the inside of the foot, outside of the foot. All right. Gaze is forward. And on an inhale, lifting the thigh off of the mat, kicking the foot into the hands. Breathe. And exhale, slowly release. Bring your forehead to the mat. Draw the hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes. Shift back through a child's pose. And then send the hips high, downward facing dog. So catch your breath here, just recharge. Check in with the breath. Notice how you feel in the shoulders, the chest. All right, so we're going to inhale, come high on the toes, shift into plank, and then exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. So from here, we're going to find a few rounds of Shalabhasana, Locust pose. So the first variation we're going to do, draw the arms into a cactus pose, so 90-degree angle. So on an inhale, you're going to lift your chest and lift your arms, but keep the legs on the ground. So as you inhale, peel your chest up off the ground, really pressing into the tops of the feet. Breathe. And then exhale, slowly release your forehead back to the mat. So we'll do that one more time. As you inhale, lift the chest, lift the arms, press to the tops of the feet. And slowly release back to the mat. So this is the last one we're going to do. This time we're going to interlace the hands behind the neck, keeping the elbows nice and wide. And as you inhale, lift the chest and lift the legs this time. So inhale, come up. Keep your gaze looking down so you're not straining the neck. Stretch the toes nice and wide. One more breath. And then release everything to the floor. So we'll push into child's pose for just a moment here. Coming back to the breath. You should already start to feel the little muscles in the back of your spine starting to engage, which is awesome. Really good for back bends. All right, so from here, come on up into tabletop pose and just lower all the way back down to the belly. So we're going to come into bow pose here. So bending the knees, again, you can reach for the outer edge of the foot or the ankles. If you feel a little more open in the chest, try grabbing your feet from the inside. So as you're ready, on an inhale, you'll lift the chest and kick the feet into the hands. Come back to your breath. One more breath in and out. And then exhale, slowly come back. Releasing everything to the mat, making a pillow with your hands and allowing your forehead to rest there. Right. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders and coming back through child's pose. So big toes touch, knees wide. From here, we're going to interlace the hands behind the back. And as you inhale, come on top of the knees and draw your hands down towards the mat. So reaching your fingertips towards the front of the mat. The crown of your head is on the floor. So pressing gently here, you don't want too much pressure on your neck. And then exhale, come back down. One more time, inhale, open the chest, reach your fingers towards the front of the mat. And then exhale, come back down. Inhale one more time, drawing the fingers towards the front of the mat. And this time lifting your head off of the ground, open the chest, and see if you can reach your fingers towards the bottom of the mat. Maybe slightly opening the chest here. And then coming back down through child, still opening the shoulders here. And then inhale, reach all the way up. Release the fingers. Bring your hands to heart center. Just pause for a moment. Come back to your breath. Right. So from here, we're going to be standing on your knees. So your knees are going to be about hip width apart. Bring your hands to your low back. So fingers should be facing the mat. All right, so we're just going to push open the chest, pressing into the low back, Really engaging the quads. Keep your core engaged, so tuck the belly in towards the spine. Inhale to come back up, release the hands, shake them out a little bit. We'll find that one more time. Bring the hands to the low back. Engage the low belly, engage the quads. And then inhale, open the chest. If it's comfortable for you, you can release the neck. Good. Coming all the way back up. So you can find that one more time if you'd like. If you'd like to try full camel, you have that option for you. So you can tuck the toes and come into camel that way, starting with your hands on the low back to protect the low back, reaching back. And then maybe you reach for the back heels, one hand at a time, and just see how that feels. You can keep the chin tucked into the chest, or if you want to see what it feels like to allow your head and neck to hang heavy. And if you want a little bit more, you can come back up, release the tops of the feet to the floor. Start with your hands on the hips, and then coming back down, opening up through the chest, and then drawing your hands towards your heels. Seeing how that feels. Make sure there's no crunching in the low back. And just breathe in the pose. If you have blocks, that works as well. You can place 2 blocks on the outer edge of your feet and do it that way, whatever works best for you. So play around with that pose for as long as you'd like. And those are all of my favorite heart openers for today. So you can finish with that practice, and then you could work on some twisting poses, some forward folds as counter poses after your back bends. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you have any other requests for anything you'd like to see, let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Namaste.